My wife loves transforming spaces, and after 6 months of transforming to other people's homes, Andrea was ready to get back to our house and transform our kids' playroom. Little did we know that this project would take 30 days and have plenty of its own hiccups.
This is my last board. I'm like really short. How did that happen?
So join us for the adventure as we show you the entire 30-day transformation. Before we get started, we want to say thank you to Harry's for sponsoring today's video. Men, is your face getting too hairy? Then try Harry's. Women, are your legs getting hairier than a grizzly bear? Then try Harry's. Harry's sends high-quality, German-engineered razors straight to your doorstep. Their premium blades are designed to give ladies and gentlemen alike a close, comfortable, and smooth shave. Oh, nice. Much better. Plus, the blades come in really sweet looking colors like my ocean blade shown here or several other cool options that you can find online. And the deeper handle grooves allow for improved grip. And even though these things look and perform like $1 million, they don't cost $1 million. In fact, Harry's is offering you your first starter set for just $5 when you use our link below. In your starter set, you'll get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, a blade cover, and their foaming gel. And the reviews just in, the ladies love it.
I've never felt your face that soft before. Oh, you smell good too.
Worth it. If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what does. So if you're trying to impress that special someone in your life, then try Harry's. Not berries, not fairies, but Harry's. Get your starter set for just $5 when you use our link in the description of this video. And now let's dive into today's project.
The first project that we'll be starting on is a playroom makeover for our kids. So this is our kids' playroom, and it is an awesome space just like it is, but our kids are getting older, and so I decided to do a little update that would be more age appropriate for all of our kids. I'm really excited about this one, but before we can get started, we have to go back over to our friend's house and get all of our tools. Are you here for my autograph?
Yes. Can you believe we're done with this project? We're shipping out, man.
Oh man, it's awesome. This was a good one.
Show them the magic. Yeah!
How bad is it?
It's probably 373 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Good thing you've been working out.
Goodbye, project. It was nice knowing you.
All right, next we're gonna run by the paint store to grab some paint swatches so I can try and narrow down the color that I wanna use.
Hit them with something that they don't know about you. Completely shock them, surprise them. Give them the...
I'm not good with impromptu stuff. I feel like we could probably come up with more fun what you don't know about Dean things.
Like he loves jumping bikes. Go get him, babe. Knock him dead. Are you in your element or what?
All right, so I found a color I really like. We're gonna take it back to our house, see it in the space, because colors look totally different depending on where you have them and the lightings. Then I also need to take some measurements for the first project we'll be working on.
Welcome home, darling.
First project, back at our house. This will be fun.
Back where it all began.
Perfect, nailed it, one color. Woo. It's pretty much my kitchen cabinet color, just more green, which is what I wanted because it has a lot of gray in it, but there's a lot more natural light in this room. And so if I use my cabinet color in here, it's going to look gray. This color looks so good. And something else I like to do is to look up a color once I've kind of narrowed it down, look it up on Pinterest, see it in a lot of spaces, because a lot of times you have something in your head and you think you've got it and you realize that is not what I was looking for, but this is the winner. Dark Olive by Benjamin Moore. It's like my favorite color. What's my favorite color, babe?
Olive green. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There she is. Woman on a mission. She's on a mission! Look at you. Look at you. You're ready. Yo.
Look at you, babe.
Look at you, looking at me, looking at you. It's magic.
Down tape measure.
All right, we got what we need. Let's get started.
All right, so the first project we're going to be working on in here is adding a cool wood detail to the wall. I'm going to be doing some sort of tongue and groove about 2/3 of the way up, and then painting that a fun color that's going to match a lot of the built-ins on the other side of the room. So the first thing I need to do is measure the wall so I can estimate how much materials I need to buy. That's the plan, and now it's time to actually get to work.
Was that pretty cinematic or what? What are we doing today, Brain?
Same thing we do every day, going to Lowe's. We need a theme song for every time we go to Lowe's.
That's a pretty good idea.
A Lowe's trip, a Lowe's trip. Every single day it's a Lowe's trip.
For this project, I decided to use vertical shiplap boards about 2/3 of the way up the wall, which meant that the most efficient option was to buy 12-foot boards that I could cut in half. The only problem was we didn't know if these 12-foot boards would fit into our minivan. So we need the 12-foot boards, but I'm not thinking it's gonna fit in our minivan. Jean thinks it. What do you think?
I think there's a chance. We should try it. At least one board, right?
We decided to start with just one board to see if it would even fit.
Is it gonna fit? Oh, 100%. Yes, we got this. All right, come on, Slim Jim. Let's go. Going in. Tell me when we hit the window.
Hey, it's it!
Oh! It fits. It's perfect.
Now we just need 21 more of these.
Oh, easy peasy. Let's do
Can we
it.
get it in one trip, you think?
Easy peasy. You can fit 12-foot boards in a minivan. You don't even need to tie down the back end.
Done.
Oh yeah. Crisscross applesauce in there. Know what I'm saying? Look like skis.
Once we got back, we unloaded all of these boards and put them in a place that would be easily accessible to cut later.
These are super long. They'd be great for jousting because we love jousting. That's it, huh?
Nobody tells you how long it takes to just go get all your materials and load and unload them just to start the project. We're like halfway through our day. I guess we got tools and a paint sample too though. All right, so I'm gonna cut one board. I want it about somewhere in here. We're gonna cut one just to test it out, see if I need to remove the baseboards first or not. That means I need the miter saw, babe.
What?
It's reflecting into my eyes.
We carry it together now after my little mishap last time. Plug it in, plug it in.
Okay, so I definitely need to pull all these baseboards off first. I thought that was probably the case, but you know, I thought I'll just check and make sure. Definitely need to pull them off because these boards are thicker than the baseboards and it would look really silly to just set them on top of them.
What you got?
I couldn't find my regular hammer. The baseboards where the shiplap would go, I ran out to the garage to grab my multi-tool and then used that to cut the baseboards next to the walls where the shiplap would go so that everything would meet up properly when I install it all later. After that, I took down the map and this little strip of bulletin board, which was actually just a test for a bulletin board that I'm going to be building for a different wall in this space. Looking a little naked in here.
Totally naked.
Then I was finally ready to start cutting the shiplap boards. install the boards, I used my brad nailer and a level, but I ran into a mistake on the very first board.
What?
I did it the wrong way. So with shiplap boards like this, if you overlap them one way, you get 0 gap. And if you overlap them the other way, you get your perfect gap. I need to flip it over, but then this will be on the wrong side. So I need to start on that side of the room.
All right.
I'll have to pull that one off. That's okay. So I moved over to the other wall, and that meant that I needed to make a cut around the light switch. After measuring and marking, I used my drill and a large drill bit to make the first hole, and then used my jigsaw to cut out the rest of the square. I've learned from experience that it's best to first draw a line with a level and use that as your guide rather than just resting the boards on the floor, because the floor is not always level. Once I had the line drawn and all of the boards cut, the process went pretty quickly. I had a couple of outlets to cut around, and so whenever I got to one of those, I simply measured, marked, and then used my jigsaw to cut around those. I thought I cut with the board backwards, but I didn't. I actually did it right, and I just had the wrong board there. It scared me. I have exactly the number of boards that I need, so I can't mess up.
Do not mess up.
Oh no. I don't recommend that strategy, but I like to live on the edge.
They call you MI6, right? Snug fit. You must be a pro.
It's looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it looks great.
When I got to the corner, I needed to trim down the width of the last shiplap board, and I decided to use my jigsaw for this since this cut edge would be hidden by the next board.
Get it?
One wall done.
One wall done. Are you some kind of professional or what? Do you hit an outlet?
Yep.
So fast. You should run marathons, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I felt like I was looking at the saw's butt there.
Pretty nice. Professional.
Very professional. I looked at professional in the DIY dictionary and your name was there.
It's cool, huh?
Very cool.
A dark paint will also cover our art splatters. There's like paint splatters and stuff on the wall. It's like, oh. Green paint will be practical.
Super duper cool by Super Duper Gal.
After that, it was time to pick up our kids from school, and so we decided to call it quits for the day and start fresh the next day.
Hey-o. Look, our kids have left us some DIY of their own.
This is nothing.
Look at this work of art. Incredible.
Our 5-year-old did let me know that this is a special piece of artwork and it's not trash.
Why have a dozen colored pencils when you can have 1,000? Wait. Did we get new chairs?
I did. Our old chairs, those were free chairs, like this table. and they have lived their life. They were falling apart. They've had several paint jobs that I didn't do that was coming off. Time to pass them on. I picked up these at Target. These are great. They're simple. They'll be easy to wipe down. Not too expensive. They look good. All right, so last time we were in here, we finished cutting all of these, installed them all, got the baseboards out. Today, we just have this little section left. Then we're gonna be putting some boards on the top of all of these, and we don't have that long because we had some other work to get done this morning. So we've got about 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours, so we gotta leave to pick up our kids. We're gonna see how much we can get done though.
Let's go super fast. That's what you're good at. Efficiency.
Specialty. My last board. I'm like really short. How did that happen?
What does that mean?
Oh no.
Babe?
How is that possible? I like did all the math.
What does that mean?
Where's my tape measure? I want to know why.
What does all this mean? Are you saying we need to go back to Lowe's?
Saying you need to go back to Lowe's.
What?
You go back to Lowe's and I'll start doing this. That's a good plan for working efficiently.
I would just like to know how this happened. I saw you doing meticulous mathematics.
7 feet plus 8 feet is 15, right?
What happened here?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the width of the board might be counting that part that you overlap.
The tongue or the groove?
These aren't tongue and groove boards, babe. They're shiplap.
The ship or the lap?
Maybe we miscounted.
We?
You. Maybe you miscounted.
Me?
I'm just teasing. The only thing I can think of is that maybe these are not as wide as they say they are on the usable part.
Do your little math on here because we need to get this worked out. We can't be taking us another trip to
We
Lowe's.
need 6 more boards. How is that possible? That's a lot short. I'm not short like one board.
Did you finish 5th grade math or not? Let's be honest.
I'm redoing it right now.
Yeah. Says the valedictorian in high school. All right.
Let's go.
We're off to Lowe's.
No, like potty.
Okay. I'm trying to film.
What? Why are you shaking that camera all around?
It's not my camera work. It's this goon over here.
Can't hold the camera still.
So what number trip to Lowe's will this be for us?
2. We barely got anything
Just today.
done.
That's just today. I was going to say this week. 12?
Oh gosh, yeah, I don't even know. Don't ask me the weekly number of Lowe's trips. Hey, we need your Lowe's theme song.
A Lowe's trip, a Lowe's trip. Every single day it's a Lowe's trip.
What are we getting again? Just kidding. Come on.
What are you waiting on?
So if you're ever doing shiplap, know that the overall width is 5 1/4. But that's not how much your width is when they're overlapping. It's really like 4 1/2.
Mystery solved.
That's why I'm short so many boards. That's a bummer.
I'm going to count that as your fault, not my fault.
So unfortunately, they don't even have 3 boards that are usable. They're all like cracked, pretty bad. I checked the stock before we came, and it said they have hundreds, but that's because they're all on pallets, wherever that is. So we'll be waiting for a little while.
All right.
I think they're pulling them off for somebody else. Yeah. We literally only need 3 more.
Yeah, we can get them.
I think they left that forklift for us, babe.
You think
You're
so?
up.
I've driven a skid steer. I got the skills. I'm ready to
I
get
believe in you.
And a perfect fit as usual in the minivan. Oh baby. Extra long chili cheese cone.
This looks like some like clown trick where you just keep pulling it out of the hat.
Clown car. All right, where do you want these?
Right there. And I need you to get the saw.
What?
Set it down before you drop it on your bare toes.
Whoa!
Finally, I was ready to cut and install the last few boards.
Should probably close this door, yeah? The magic button. Set it and forget it. All right, is that it?
Hopefully.
Did I tell you that you're looking cute today? Let me see you put those glasses on. How's it looking?
Looking good. So I finished nailing all those on now. The rest, I just need to cut some thinner ones for the table saw to fit on the little leftover parts, and then we can add these boards on top.
I love the fence you put around the room. It's so nice looking.
And right there.
Hey, could you move your head out of the way?
After measuring, I cut the last few 1x3s and 1x2s to finish off the top portion of the tray.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right, so we got all of the shiplap boards on now, and next I'm gonna do a 1x3 board that sits on top of those, and then a 1x2 that then sits flat on top of that. Hopefully it'll go pretty fast.
That looks like a nice javelin you got yourself there. Could I see that?
No, babe! I need that board!
Do you?
No, I don't want to go back to those. Finished, huh?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Well, I mean, it's still a mess.
But it looks good.
It does.
It was time to start work for the week, but we were having a tough time getting our mojo going.
Said I'm too tired to start.
Maybe we should do like a glamour shoot before we start.
Work it, work it. What is going on here? You big weirdo.
Maybe we should just stick to DIY projects
I
and
think that's...
not do modeling, you know?
All right, it's a new day. We're ready to finish up all of this trim in here. We didn't quite get it finished the last time we were in here. We're feeling a little bit sluggish today, having a bit of a hard time actually getting started though.
But we're gonna do it. Let's do it. We're gonna make it happen, right?
Yep.
It's a great day. It's gonna be an amazing day. Let's hug.
Oh, baby!
It's so humid out here.
Oh, my glasses are fogging up.
So is the camera lens. Wipe this little lens off here.
After measuring, I cut the last few 1x3s and 1x2s to finish off the top portion of the tray.
How many more?
2 more.
And a 2. Ooh, the little baby piece. Nice, babe. Nice.
Alright, I just finished the shiplap and the little trim on top. There was actually not very much left at all. I've got to get a little bit more baseboards that will go underneath the rock wall over here where we had to cut it. So I'm going to finish up the baseboards on the shiplap whenever we do that. Next, we're going to move on to making a little desktop area with some leftover plywood I have from building all of those kitchen cabinets recently. We used to have a small play kitchen in this little nook, but since all of our kids have outgrown the play kitchen, we decided to replace it with a built-in desk for more art space. I started out by measuring the nook to see how wide I needed to cut the piece of plywood for the desktop. After I cut the plywood for the desktop, I went ahead and cut 1x2 boards that would be the support for the plywood to sit on. How did I cut it the wrong? It's really annoying. Measure twice, cut once. Man, I'm like off today. What happened?
This is not scripted. This is real deal.
Stop.
Found a spare. This is a potential solution without having to go to Lowe's. This would be a miracle. Okay, what number are we aiming for here?
57 and a half.
57 and a half. I'm going to help you reference it. Show it to me. Show it to me. 57 and a half. The test. You've passed the test. How's it look?
Okay, I think it fits. Alright, the desktop fits. I still need to cut a 1x2 that's going to go across the front of it, and I'll stain it at the same time. We're going to go ahead and take this outside along with this old table so we can sand them both down, stain them at the same time, and then later we'll apply the top coats to both of them. Get this thing looking like new.
It's a big puppy. Oh, puppy. She's a beaut.
Don't be. Once we got the table and desktop outside, I went ahead and sanded them down using my random orbital sander. Maybe I should go get that 80 grit. After sanding and then blowing off all of the sawdust, I used Minwax stain in the color Golden Oak to stain the desktop and the table. Oh, Dean, it's starting to rain! As I was finishing the desktop, we started noticing raindrops, and so we moved everything inside the sunroom so we could finish up.
Well, that's looking rather ominous.
Alright, so we just barely got the stain on the table and the desktop before it started to rain, so we're going to take this opportunity for a lunch and a Lowe's break.
Yo,
What?
where are we going?
Place called Snooze.
You snooze, you live. Go. Go. Pull on in here. We can push it together. This is so sweet. What would you think about me getting a scooter? Just don't make any sharp turns, okay? Where are we going next?
We're going to Joann's to get fabric for the bulletin board.
Yeah?
I'm actually going to be covering the cork in fabric. I already bought the cork stuff.
Did you?
I bought it without Dean, so it's not videoed. What are you doing?
Okay, great.
Should I video you over there?
Yeah. Just trying to catch high quality videos over here.
Also, this is why in our videos I'm always driving, which is really funny because in real life, I never drive.
She never drives,
Dean
ever.
always drives, and so it's so funny if we're filming. I'm like, oh, I have to drive.
True statement.
Oh, babe, would you just look at this? Oh, babe, would you just look at these? Oh, babe, would you look at the leopard print?
I used to come in here all the time. This was like my home away from home, like Lowe's is now.
She used to have a bang up Etsy shop. What happened to that Etsy shop? Could you clue us in?
It did really well. I figured out that I didn't like making the same thing.
Could we say it did too well and you had to make 43 gobble dresses in 1 month?
The dresses and little ties and bow ties and shoes, and I would make the little, like, what are the hats? Little newsboy hats. They were so cute. It was fun.
Yeah,
Creative outlet.
that's right.
Ah, you got the goodies.
All right, let's head back, get back to work, yeah? Get the goods out. Geez, that sun has really come out. It is pounding. Time for the circus board.
Alright, so I picked up these really thin rolls of cork stuff at Michael, and they are 2 feet by 4 feet-ish. And I'm actually going to use that really thin 1/4 inch plywood that we got and high strength spray adhesive to attach these onto the plywood and then wrap the entire thing in fabric before I build a frame that'll then cover all the edges.
Look at that freshly mowed yard.
After spraying the adhesive on the board and the cork board, I grabbed Dean's help to set it in place, and this is definitely easier done with 2 people.
And this is definitely one of those jobs that you think will go faster than it really does, but you do what you gotta do to get it done.
Once we had all of the cork attached, I trimmed off the excess using a utility knife. Then I sprayed adhesive over the entire surface and we brought it inside to cover it in fabric.
A giant spider web.
Okay, so just help me pull it really tight. In hindsight, spraying the entire surface with the adhesive was an unnecessary step as it didn't seem to hold the fabric in place any better and actually seemed to make it more difficult to pull the fabric tight. After I had the fabric in place, I came back with my staple gun and stapled all along the back edges, being sure to pull the fabric tight as I went.
Are you wrestling it now?
Should we go see how big it's going to be in the room?
Yeah.
This big empty room. Be like this.
Nice.
Yeah. They have a lot of art stuff. They're gonna love this. I'm the queen of like overestimating. It's already time to leave to get the kids now. This is real life projects. It always takes longer than you think it will. Going and picking up any materials always feels slow. I forget to count that into the project time.
Project timelines are not your strong suit.
But this looks good.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm happy with this. Get a close up of that texture. I got like kind of a bigger weave like this so that we can stick the little push pins in it. and it doesn't like make holes in like a real fine fabric. Alright, so we left several projects not quite finished, so we're going to start out getting those finished first with building a frame for our bulletin board, which you can see our kids have already started using. They're so excited about it, which is awesome. I'm like, they're already using this more than they're using the rock climbing wall, and so this is great. We're going to build a simple frame that I'm not going to attach yet because I want to build it and then paint it before I attach it and hang it, but let's get started with that.
Look at the strength of this woman.
Don't want my saw dropped again.
Hey, come on now. Are you thinking?
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to try and explain how I'm building this frame because I haven't really seen it done like this before, but it makes sense in my head. So I'm going to be building a frame first out of 1x2s, and these are all pre-primed since I'm going to paint this the same green that I'm using on all the built-ins in there. On top of that, I will build a frame that will be a little bigger, and it's basically going to sit right on top of my 1x2s, and this will be the main frame that you see out of the 1x3s. It'll probably make more sense as you actually see me doing it, but hopefully that helps a little bit.
Oh, it's clear as mud. Thank you for that explanation.
That's usually how it goes, I guess. Let's see if this whole thing is like...
Hey, could we have no miscuts today? I want to go one day in our lives without going to Lowe's, you know what I'm saying?
I need to go to Lowe's for other stuff.
Oh, come on, babe. So how's that humidity feeling on you right now?
It's a little bit humid.
The humidity is currently 82%.
82%?
To assemble the first 1x2 frame, I used pocket holes and screws, and it didn't take long until I ran into my first problem.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. No. What happened here, darling?
Pine is really soft. This is annoying. This is the part of the frame that you're only going to see like from the side behind the main frame. I might even just try and put pocket holes on this side, and if I can get it to stay together, then once I glue everything else on it, it'll be fine.
Alright, how did the surgery go, doctor?
It's alive. It's gonna make it.
She's gonna make it, guys. Thank you, doctor.
Just doing my job.
Could I take you out to dinner to thank you, maybe?
Alright, so the 1x2 part of the frame that is going to go around the bulletin board is done, and I need to just figure out what length I need to cut my 1x3 boards to so that I can attach the bulletin board to the back. It is so hot, I can hardly even think. Oh, there's a breeze!
Yes.
Wow, that feels
Yes.
so much better.
Wave it in.
We're getting so much rain, which is awesome. We need it really bad, but we are making up for the whole summer with no rain. Once I finished building the 1x2 frame that would go around the bulletin board, I started working on the 1x3 frame that would go on top of the smaller frame.
Alright, hey babe, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but your cameraman, he's quitting. He's hired out somebody else because it's so hot out here. Man, Texas, you need to simmer on down. I brought you a gift.
Oh, thanks. It's a little bright. Oh, that's much better. I like it.
As you can see here, it's very hot outside, causing this creature to sweat profusely.
Once I had both parts of the frame built, I went ahead and brought it all inside just to make sure that the bulletin board fit inside of it. Alright, so I just wanted to lay it out and double check that it actually fits around the bulletin board before I screw it all together, paint it, and then figure out I made a mistake later, but it does fit, so I'm going to screw these together and then we're going to paint them before I actually attach it to the bulletin board later. That's it, yep. Alright, so all of this fits. We're done with it for now because the next step will be painting it all before then we attach this to the frame. So we're gonna move on to this little desktop area over here and attach the little 1x2 boards that I've already cut to hold up the desktop that look like the right height.
Yeah, I think so.
I used a level and wood screws to attach 1x2s to the wall that would act as the support for the plywood desktop that I cut earlier. So I think I did it a little bit too high for these little chairs, but I like the way this height looks, like it fits this space well. So I have an idea.
Hey-o.
This is like nice for a kid because it's a little bit lower. I thought I needed like kind of a miniature size because it's a small area, but I might just take these back and get 2 more of these, which are a little more practical because then our older kids can use it. Might be a cool little homework spot.
Yeah, we could call it the cave.
Maybe also it's Monday and I don't want to move the desktop.
Maybe also that. I mean, but probably not. Probably
Let's
not.
be real honest.
Yeah, I'm liking it from back here. I think it looks good.
It looks good. I'm leaving it. I need to cut the 1x2 that's going to go across the front of that board to hide the edge.
The sun has overtaken you. You look like an angel of light. Honey, is it you or is it an angel?
What are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing out here?
Getting the 1x2 ready. After cutting and staining a pine 1x2, I used glue and a brad nailer to attach it in place. Alright, so the desk fits. I've got the 1x2 board on there. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out because we need to add the polyurethane top coat. Am I even using the right word now? I'm going blank.
You're asking me?
We need to add a protective top coat onto the desktop as well as the table that we refinished. So I'm going to pull this out and we'll go do that.
Seems to be the problem here.
Oh my gosh, it's stuck. The bad thing about old houses is none of the walls are straight or square, and now I can't get it out. I'm starting to break it off. Oh no.
There you go.
I decided to use Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter.
Big Mama's butter?
Mama's butter?
I know. I really just wanted to say that. It smells so good. I got the orange one. I have the orange one. I decided to use the same wax for a top coat on the big table, and right as I finished, it started to rain again. Is it raining?
Yes, that's a yes.
It wasn't supposed to start raining for a few more hours. I'm thankful for the rain, but also we keep having to move tools back and forth. You took my pencil and your shoe. What in the world? Alright, so since it's raining a little bit outside, we're going to go ahead and start working on pulling off this rock climbing wall. I am pretty sure I didn't glue this to the drywall. If I did, we're going to have to like replace the drywall. So hopefully this is possible and the wall is not like too damaged, but we're about to find out. And again, while this rock climbing wall was awesome for a season, our kids are all getting big and have outgrown it, and to be honest, it is just not getting used. What they are currently all into is all kinds of art projects, so we will be replacing this rock climbing wall with a giant bulletin board that they can display all of their projects on. Oh! I got handsome. Oh, I stepped on your leg. Oh my gosh! Okay, so now the fun part, we have to try and get the screws out of here. And so Dean is going to be trying to dig out some of the paint and whatever I used, caulk, wood filler. Also, if you're ever wanting to make a rock climbing wall like this, all I did was use a bunch of solid, I used tongue and groove boards. You could also use a big sheet of plywood, put it up on your board, screw it into the studs, and then you can attach your rocks to that. Super simple. Don't glue it. And maybe don't fill in your screw holes, you know.
Don't fill in your screw holes. All right, start that time lapse.
So I think all these bottom boards, they're like half falling down. So we're gonna try and pull those off, but gonna need hands and helping hands. Here, we don't want to let it crash. I don't want so. Put your hand under that. No, oh, okay, sorry. Ah!
You don't want to let it crash.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have some patching to do.
Yeah, I might have a little patching to do. Success! Mission completed.
Look how dirty the wall is next to it. Oh my gosh. I have some cleaning to do and some painting and some patching. You want to do it, Jude?
Do what?
Talk to the camera. Tell them what are we doing today.
We're gonna clean the playroom.
Okay, it's a homeschool day, but I really want to paint tomorrow. We've got all of our school stuff done. I've got my helpers here. They're gonna help me empty the shelves off. We don't have Dean here, but we don't need him today. We got these goons. Start getting the books.
Oh yeah!
Careful. Anyway, these two boys are gonna help me clear off these shelves so that hopefully I can get everything else done and ready to paint everything tomorrow. We challenged ourselves to see how quickly we could clear these shelves off, and we were all a little bit shocked at just how quickly we were able to complete it. How long did it take us, Jude?
We're done?
Barely over 20 minutes. That was like record speed. Basically, before I can paint, I have to have everything scrubbed really, really well. It's really dusty. Now that we pulled everything off, I shrunk Dean. I shrunk Dean to be in the video for today. So I've got to clean everything off real quick. Not real quick, it's gonna take a while. And then I need to clean it with an actual degreaser cleaner, but I'll probably do that after we scrub them and dust them. Then I need to caulk everything. We still need to get baseboards in, so I'll caulk after that. Okay, that's it. Next, I decided to pull down this decorative piece above the window seat. While this piece is funky and fun, after leaving it for several years and really thinking on it, I finally decided to remove it because it just doesn't fit the vision that I'm going for. All right, it's a new day at school today, so it is a full work day. We had them here yesterday helping. We got all of the shelves emptied out. They actually wiped them all down for me because they were really dusty. I'm gonna do another cleaning with an actual degreaser today. But first, I wanna put some caulk on some of the trim here to get that drying before we go run some errands and then hopefully actually get to painting today. Even though this part is time consuming, caulking all of the edges just gives you a super clean, professional result in the end and is worth every minute of time that it takes.
You all done putting the mayonnaise on the walls?
After finishing up the shiplap walls, I moved on to filling some of the gaps around the bookshelves.
You all done with the mayo? Or was that marshmallow paste this whole time?
Yes, can I get a couple of gallons to come pick up later today? 2 gallons of the command paint in a satin finish in the color dark olive.
And when do you want to pick it up?
The sooner the better. I'll come by.
Make sure I got it and find the card and everything, and I can give you a call back to make sure.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much.
This girl knows how to order some paint. Let me tell you folks, she's only done it about 4,000 times.
Well, I'm getting smarter. They'll do that at the small paint store. I've waited a long time in the store while they mix the paint, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start calling.
Alright, what next?
Okay, so I finished the caulk just on the edges where I want to tape it later because I want it to dry hopefully enough to be able to tape it. Next, I think I'm going to work on finishing up the baseboards, see if I can kind of clean up this area where I pulled off that little decorative trim piece. And then after that, I've got a long list of random supplies we need to get this room ready to paint. So we'll head out and get all that stuff.
All right, so first on that long list of little bitty tasks that need to be finished before painting is getting these boards out of this room. And there does happen to be a nice open window right here. So we tell the kids not to go out this window, but we're gonna throw these boards out the window because it's gonna be easy. Okay, well, when we get to this part in the video, we're gonna skip it forward. And if any of you know our kids, if you could just not let them know this is taking place, that'd be great. Thank you. There's no quiet way to do that.
So loud.
It's kind of fun now. There's no quiet way to do this. Fast forwards. Shh. Let's keep that between us, okay? Don't tell our kids.
After a quick sweep, I started getting ready to cut and install the baseboards. I was able to keep all of the same baseboards on the shiplap walls. I just needed to trim them down a little bit to fit. Need my saw.
What?
Need my saw.
Yeah.
You're getting stronger.
This thing never gets any lighter.
It's good right there. Actually, could you like move it that way 2 feet?
No.
Set it down gently. Don't throw your weights down.
I think Rocky used this in his training, you know what I mean?
I needed to add a new baseboard where we removed the rock climbing wall, and I plan to build a ladder so the kids can access the platform. So I cut a gap in the baseboard where I'll attach the ladder to the wall. Once I had all of my baseboards cut, I attached them using my nailer, and then we got a phone call. Bye. Paint's ready.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, errands to run, and the first stop is the paint store to pick up the green paint that I already called in. It's ready, so we're gonna pick that up first.
All right, where to next?
Home Depot, mixing things up.
Oh, no way. Are we dragging a little bit today?
Dragging just a little bit. The weather doesn't help. It's so dreary.
Do you ever just have those days when you're feeling just too poop to whoop, you know? It's more like whoop, you know? That's kind of what I feel like today. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, it's usually a day when we have a lot planned too,
Yes.
or a lot of work planned, like, you know, painting an entire playroom.
It's like, all right, we've got this big work day. The kids are at school. Let's really go at it. And then we're both like, ugh. That's all right. We're getting it done. It's always a great day at Chick-fil-A. Hey, look, they got lemonade now. That's awesome.
At Home Depot, I grabbed everything else we needed to get the room ready to paint. Did you want to do self-checkout?
All right, we're heading back to the house.
We're heading back.
Back to the house.
All right, so I went a crud cutter on all of the shelves and the built-in bench over here just to get rid of any kind of dirt and oil that's left after we wipe all the dust off. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them another good scrubbing, and then after that, I'm gonna be lightly sanding everything. And we get asked this question a lot: why would you clean it before you sand? And really the answer is you don't want to sand and rub in all the dirt and oils into, you know, whatever surface you're working on. I always like to wipe it first, then sand it lightly, and then use a tap cloth or a damp rag to then wipe any more loose dust that you've sanded off. Anyway, so another tedious task. I'm gonna put in a podcast and get to work.
While Andrea was busy doing her boring task, I decided to follow her around and help with the cleanup, doing a boring task of my own. Oh, yes! I'm finally done.
After cleaning and then sanding and vacuuming and then wiping again with a tack cloth, I started working on masking off the windows.
Y'all done?
With the windows, I just remembered I still have a little bit of trim work to do. I'm gonna cut some 1x3s that are gonna kind of finish off the window where it was just a little bit weird because of the little decorative piece that I pulled down. So I need to cut those, nail those in. I still have some more caulking to do, and then I'll finish masking everything off. My goodness, this is like
the job that never
I know this. It's like your paint prep is usually like a full work day.
A full, really boring work day.
We'll get to painting eventually, maybe today, hopefully.
But that's right, we're gonna make this video really exciting. Yo, this is the paint prep video. Put the music on. Paint prep video. Whoa, that sun came out.
When I pulled off the decorative piece that went above the window, it left some weird gaps in transitions that I fixed by putting a 1x3 board all the way from the top down to the floor.
Like a glove.
I might need you to clean this up again. Get that back together. I'm using my 7-year-old's hammer in case anybody was wondering. It's miniature.
All right, what next?
I need to clean up the mess I made, and then finish caulking, and then finish masking off. It's almost time to pick up the kids, isn't it? What time is it?
We've got 1 hour.
Do we have a whole hour?
1 hour.
That's probably not enough time to get started painting. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure with the last paint project, I was like, I'm not doing paint anymore. I don't want to paint anymore because it's so much work.
And here you are again, painting.
Not that much longer.
All right, let's get her done. Yeah! Hungry, hungry hippos, go! Is that the squatty technique?
Yeah.
You're pretty good at that.
Once I finally finished the rest of the trim and caulking, I started masking off the rest of the room. It's a new day. I didn't paint yesterday. The masking off takes way longer than I think every single time, but now I have all the contents of the playroom out of here, and so it's a mess everywhere else. So we are taking an editing day and I am painting. I've got a little bit of masking off left to do, Actually, it's probably not a little bit. I need to completely cover the floors, tape around the edges, finish a little bit of the ceiling, re-stick some of the stuff that's falling off, and then we will finally paint. I started paint day by filling in all of the nail holes on the shiplap and the trim that I had forgotten about. Next, I started covering the floors using this thick paper and painter's tape around the edges, and like everything else in paint prep, this took way longer than I thought it would. Everything off. It took forever. I'm gonna go ahead and give everything a wipe off with some tack cloth just because I can still feel a little bit of the dust on there, and you do not want any dust. These are cheap. They make a big difference. Oh man, textured ceilings are annoying. I can see my stuff already coming down. I'm gonna be touching up some paint. And just when I thought I was finally done, I remembered I had a little more taping to do. I will go ahead and say that I wasn't super happy with how this tape and plastic worked, and in my experience, a higher quality tape and paper has worked much better. Oh shoot, look at the ceiling.
Uh-oh.
I haven't even started painting yet. I quit. This tape is, well, it's not the tape, it's partly these super textured ceilings. This is part of the annoying part of an old house. I love our old house, but people have just added layers and layers of texture over the years, and now too textured to stick anything to.
You got this.
It's like falling down as I tape it. Paint before all this plastic falls off.
Oh yeah, getting the paint suit back out.
Well, I got a new one because I accidentally got like the double XL last time. So it's too big and it like made it rip in the crotch. Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Oh, little footsies. Look at that.
Oh
How
my
cute.
gosh. My feet are too big for these. What is this? It's like toddler size. Look, this is the bottom of the foot. Seriously, like a 7-year-old shoe size. It's a little bit warm. I'm glad I'm not painting outside.
Yeah, astronaut Andrea Davis is ready for liftoff.
Wow, it's warm. We gotta move quick.
Again? Round 3?
No, like 5 or 6 for this bit, man.
Yo!
I put gloves on this time so I don't have to scrub my hands. I actually think I'm just gonna paint the ceiling. Once I finally had all of the tape in place, I started spraying on the dark green paint, and it was so exciting to finally see it going on. Sweaty. Not very breathable. Look at my arms. Alright, I just finished the first coat of paint. It's looking really good. I paint all over me. I'm definitely going to need another gallon. I forget that when you paint built-ins like that, it uses a lot more paint just because there are so many surfaces. You're spraying so many directions. There's a little more waste. So I'm going to call the paint store and get another gallon of paint while that dries, and hopefully we can get that second coat of paint in later today. Yes, I had picked up some Command paint yesterday and I needed another gallon. Satin Command paint in the color dark olive. All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, so Andrea's taking a lunch break and I am gonna go pick up the extra gallon of paint. Now I've heard some rumors that there might be some free barbecue at the paint store. I'm gonna have to go investigate.
What can we get for you?
Pick up for Andrea Davis. Thank you. Well, it's a little disappointing. You know, the sign on the desk said that it was Customer Appreciation Day and there's barbecue from 11 to 1. It is now 12:55, but he didn't offer me the barbecue and I just didn't have the boldness to ask, like,
Hey, y'all still doing the barbecue?
so I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
After the first coat of paint was thoroughly dried, I sprayed a second coat on the entire room. Looks so good. All right, second coat is dried. If you can't tell, it's dark, but we're gonna go ahead and pull all the plastic off, and this is like the really fun part because now most of the hard work is done and it is looking pretty good, pretty different. It's always so satisfying to pull off all of the tape and plastic and get a first look at the result of all of your hard work. Just wave to yourself.
What is it?
So that looks so pretty. I love that with the door. It makes me smile.
Smash it. Let me help. Wrestle that anaconda.
So different. It makes our floors look really different.
You might need a bigger bag there, darling.
Did you tell me I can't do it?
I did. Never tell Andrea she can't do it.
Challenge accepted.
Alright, so can we tell the friendly people out there the real reason why we had to do this at dark after the kids were in bed instead of tomorrow? Because somebody couldn't wait.
Oh. Yeah.
Alright, are you satisfied with your work?
I am. I'm tired too.
Yeah. It's a new day.
It's a new day.
Alright, where are we going?
A new restaurant just opened up a few days ago. Kava. It's like a Mediterranean Chipotle is what we hear.
And why are we starting the day out with lunch?
I had a 2-hour visit with a functional medicine doctor this morning, which is really exciting. We haven't talked a whole lot about this, but I actually have an autoimmune disease, ulcerative colitis. It's similar to Crohn's, and I have been meeting with this doctor to try and figure out how to get it under control, which also means I've been on a really strict elimination diet, which has meant hardly any eating out. That's why you haven't seen us at Jersey Mike's and all of the other delicious
Or
food.
Chipotle. So a lot of you may not realize that when Andrea is working super hard on these projects, oftentimes her stomach hurts, she's super fatigued, and she just soldiers on. And so I don't know if that can be an encouragement to some of you. It's not always fun and easy for her. So now you know a little bit more of why we're so excited about this restaurant. We've actually been anticipating it for about 2 months now.
It better be good.
And it better be good or it's going to be really disappointing. Oh, and don't forget to pay for parking. All right, here we go. How is it? We're examining the DIY ability. Andrea has let me know that there's a thinner piece here with a thicker piece here. We're also looking at this board wall back here, and I was like, oh, you could have done that, babe. They should have hired you for that. And totally forgot to pay for parking. Oh, and don't forget to pay for parking. So sweet. All right, Kava, first round, honest thoughts.
It was great. I'm in the elimination phase of a diet. It's called the autoimmune protocol, so it's just really restricted, which can be a bummer. Most places I'm like, there's nothing I can eat. I can eat your greens, your salad greens with no dressing. All that to say, it was wonderful. I'm sure it's even better if you can get all of the delicious rice or whatever stuff you want on it and hummus.
Will we be going back?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
All right, so where are we off to next?
Back to Lowe's!
Whoa!
Yay!
All right, what are we getting at Lowe's today?
I need to get some oak wood for the rolling library ladder that we'll be building, and I need some short screws to attach the bulletin board to the frame. I think that's it. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Famous last words. I like plants, but I also am not very good at watering them and keeping them alive. But pothos are a lot more difficult to kill than something.
Love your lumber cart. If you have 4 kids, you know the frustration that this can bring when you're checking out.
After we got everything we needed from Lowe's, we were finally ready to head back to the house and get started.
How is it so hot in September? What happened out here?
All right, so this week we are ready to get this playroom finished. Yesterday, I grabbed one of our boys and had him help me carry in the table and chairs. Hold this right down. High five! Good job, bud! You're strong. That's a heavy table. Boys, do y'all want to help me carry books into the playroom? Y'all want to earn a little more money?
Yeah. Whoa.
What do you think?
Yeah,
You want to help me carry stuff in here? Okay, it's right
It
over
looks
there.
so different.
It's cool, isn't it?
better different, actually.
Yeah. You're like, oh, careful. After that, while Dean was editing, I went ahead and got all of the toys and books back on all of the shelves since the paint was good and dry, and this may look really fast in a time lapse, but I also took this time to sort through the books, get rid of all of the baby and toddler books that we've outgrown, and put them in a massive pile to take to Goodwill. So the next big task on today's agenda is to build a rolling library ladder on the bookshelves with all of the games, books, and toys so my kids don't have to climb on the shelves, potentially breaking the shelves and hurting themselves. And it's just a fun feature. Like, who doesn't want a rolling ladder? Like, I've wanted one for years, so when one of my kids asked for it, I pretty much said yes right away. All right, so several weeks ago, I ordered the hardware kit for the rolling library ladder from Rockler. Before starting building, I want to cut it open, see if there's any instructions, kind of get a better idea of what exactly I'm doing so I know what height to make the ladder. Look at that. Everything was going great until I tried opening the packaging that the rail was in and had just a little trouble. Why would you staple and tape that? I can't get it open.
Maybe it wasn't meant to be opened. There you go.
To like grab onto. I feel like a cat that's like clawing at something. Staples here, here, and the metal thing goes all the way to there, but I think I've got it. Ah, I got it.
Victory!
I win. Better not leave that for our kids. Once I finally got the rail out of the packaging, I grabbed the rest of the stuff that I needed so I could start attaching it to the bookshelves. Okay, these screws are massive, and so I need to drill some pilot holes before we actually try and attach those on. Ah! It's stuck! I would like to thank Rockler for actually doing a good job designing these hangers, because if you've ever hung like curtain rods where you cannot get to that like the hole where the screw goes and you're like holding your drill like this, like, but they've designed these to where you can access the screw straight on. I'm not getting sponsored to say this, I just actually really appreciate a good product. And so they've actually made a hole with a plug so you can access this top screw easily and straight on.
Link in the description.
I'll link it. I'll link what I use. Okay, so I got that top rail installed. That's what the hooks are gonna hook onto, and so the ladder can slide back and forth. I'm gonna go grab one of my sideboards for the ladder to try and figure out how tall I want to make it, because it is gonna slant out like this, so it's not as simple as just measuring up and down. Plus I have to account for the hooks and then the wheels at the bottom, and that'll take a little bit of height away as well. Good thing I went out there. My poor little plant was in the back of the car still.
Just wilting.
After figuring out how tall I wanted my ladder to be, I took the boards back outside to start cutting. Should you get my saw for me?
Sure. Oh, stay behind the cloud.
After cutting the first board, I brought it back inside just to double check that it was the right length. Alright, so I got the first side of the ladder cut. I'm gonna go ahead and trace that onto my second board and do those cuts before cutting all of the steps for the ladder. I also added these angled cuts at the top of each of the side rails, and one of the reasons I grabbed this saw in particular is because of its ability to make these 70-degree cuts, so I didn't have to make any kind of fancy jig to do this cut. Please don't hate me.
What's happening?
It wasn't a mistake, it was just, I had originally planned on not having the ladder go all the way up to the top. I was gonna have it go up to that, you know, top shelf, so it'd be like 10 inches shorter, which meant that my scraps would have been 10 inches longer and would have been long enough to use for rungs, and my ladder would have been shorter, so I needed one less rung. So I had plenty.
Okay, it sounds like a lot of excuses, but get to the point.
For my rungs, I got a 6-foot board.
Yes.
But I need 6 rungs, and my rungs need to be like 14.5 inches wide.
But get to the point.
6-foot board is not long enough. We need to go get an 8-foot board. We gotta go back to Lowe's, and we don't have that much time, so we need to hurry.
And we're back.
We're back with like, what, 5 minutes?
We've got at least 10 minutes before we got to pick up the kids.
I'm building one ladder and I needed 2 low strips. That feels embarrassing. And have we said this already? It is our second child. It is his 10th birthday today. We're gonna take him to do something fun. Maybe to a trampoline park.
Maybe.
Something inside, it's too hot outside. So next step, before I cut the widths of all my ladder steps, I'm actually going to go ahead and route all of the edges on the sides and along my ladder steps, because I don't need to route like the short ends of them, so it'll be easier to go ahead and just do it while it's all one long board and then cut it down from there. So that might be all we get to though before we have to leave. Maybe we can route everything and then leave.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
I don't remember the technical term for the bit I used on the router, but I added a rounded edge on all of the sides so that there wouldn't be any sharp edges. Before I could finish, it was already time to pick up the kids from school, and so Dean set up the camera and left while I continued working. Alright, so I finished routing and sanding these. Now I'm gonna cut all of the steps for the ladder, and I'm doing them at 14.5 inches wide. After I cut the steps for the ladder, I gave everything a good sanding to finish off the day. I got those cut. I'm gonna go ahead and sand these edges here where I've cut it just a little bit rough, and then I'll be done with all the cutting.
I, on the other hand, was picking up the kids and giving them the good news that we were going to a trampoline park. All right, so I'm going to pick up the kids from school, and this is kind of a regular routine for us. I typically go and pick up the kids from school, and Andrea's typically finishing off a project, so I'll set up the camera, let her run on a time lapse. I'm going to pick up the birthday boy! But today is extra special because it's our son's 10th birthday, so we're gonna stop working for the day and take them to a trampoline park! Alright, I've got a surprise for Levi's birthday. We're gonna go to the trampoline park! Are you good, buddy?
Yeah, fine, Dad.
What's going on in there? Yeah, this is the hurricane simulator.
Look at Levi's hair.
You boys have survived a hurricane.
After lots of fun birthday festivities, we started the next day by assembling the ladder. After marking where I wanted my first rung to go and using a spacer board with an angle cut on each end, I then used a clamp to hold it all together and drill pilot holes. Then I started attaching the steps using the screws that came with the rolling library ladder kit, but I ran into a little bit of a problem.
Alright, so what's going on here?
I'm having a hard time getting these really long screws in. I don't know, even with the pilot hole, I don't honestly know why. I mean, oak is a really hard wood, but I have some shorter screws. I'm gonna try those. I don't know if my pilot hole is gonna be too big for that though.
Goodness gracious, what kind of sound is that? You've always had a knack for making really strange sounds on the construction site with your power tools.
All right.
Hey, you got it.
Okay, so I ended up making just a little bit bigger pilot holes, and that seems to be perfect. Now I'm actually able to get the screws in. This is still really tight. It's gonna be strong, which is what we want with 4 kids using it. Once I finally had my technique figured out, I was able to make quick progress on the rest of the ladder. Ladder.
One side done?
Yep. Once I finished the first side, I flipped it over and repeated the same process on the other side.
Alright, is that it?
Almost. I'm gonna take it outside, stain it, but after the stain dries some, we can bring it inside and install the hooks and the wheels and get it actually in place. Our kids are gonna be so excited about this. After I finished assembling the ladder, I took it outside to stain it using Minwax's stain in the color Provincial. Oak is such a hard wood, I don't usually apply a wood conditioner first. I simply brush it on with a brush and then wipe it away with a lint-free rag. Alright, so I finished getting the entire ladder stained. I'm gonna leave it out here to dry, but I'm gonna let this dry while we move on to the next thing. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and finish up this giant bulletin board. I'm gonna lay it all on the ground, trim off the extra fabric, and then I bought some short screws to screw the bulletin board onto the frame.
You left some goodies over here though.
Alright, the bulletin board is pretty much finished, except I need to grab hardware to actually be able to hang it on the wall. But this is kind of how construction and projects go. It is rare that I actually get to just finish one thing start to finish. Usually it's like there's a lot of moving parts as you're jumping all around, which can feel a little bit crazy when we're trying to make it into a video, but it is what it is. We're almost done. Okay, so we're gonna do one last little thing. When I was putting the ladder up here to see it, I realized that I installed this upside down. So my sliders are hitting that. If it's this way, you can slide, you know, past it. I'm gonna have to pull that down, turn it over. Hopefully I can use those same holes. I don't know though.
Hey, real life construction. You make mistakes.
Thankfully, simply removing the rail hardware and flipping it over and using the same holes worked perfectly, and so it was an easy fix. Oh man, my shoulder's tired. Alright, it's a new day and we are finally ready to get all of these last little details finished on this playroom. Okay, so last build of this project is a little ladder for the little loft here, because before they were using the rock climbing wall to climb up there, and now they don't have a way to get up here. And so we're gonna build a simple little ladder, spray paint it black to match the railing, and then I'm sure this will be about as quick in real life as it is in my head.
Absolutely. There's no way this is going to take more time than you're thinking. No way.
I'm like, can we finish all of this before the kids get home from school and then surprise them with all of it finished?
That would be fun. All right, let's get to business, huh?
Yep. You know what that means, right?
No.
I need the saw.
You are always telling me this.
We are gonna build a table for it one day. Maybe soon, maybe the next project I'll finally do it. After measuring for the height of the ladder and then getting the saw out, I was ready to start making cuts.
You want in the shade, ma'am?
Yes.
What are you looking at? I couldn't find anywhere in town that had a long enough 2x2, and so I ended up gluing and clamping two 1x2s together for my side rails. I also decided to add a small angle cut at the top of each side rail so that there wasn't that sharp corner to bump into. After the glue had dried, I removed the clamps and used a spacer board that I had cut to start marking where I wanted each rung to go. Then I drilled pilot holes to keep the wood from splitting and used wood screws to attach the rungs to one side. I then repeated the same process to attach the other side. Finally, once it was all assembled, I gave it a good sanding with my random orbital sander. Then I laid it out on a tarp and spray painted the entire thing black. While that was drying, it was time to head back inside to hang up the bulletin board. Alright, so we're getting ready to hang the bulletin board finally. I've marked out where some of the studs are and kind of figured out about how high I want it. I'm going to put 2 screws into the studs first before attaching some D-rings onto the back of the bulletin board. That way I can mark out where the screws are on the wall and then put the D-ring hangers on the bulletin board based off of that. Uh-oh, that's not hitting a stud. That's not hitting a stud either. What in the world? I don't think our stud finder is working. Oh, that's a stud. What's the deal with this?
Wow, I should get some shorter screws. These are really long.
These steel studs or what?
After grabbing some shorter screws and finally getting those into the studs, I marked where the screws were on the bulletin board so I knew where to attach the D-rings. Normally you install these D-rings up and down, but since my board isn't wide enough, I did them sideways like this and it still worked fine.
Ow.
Okay, mine's on.
This is like a team building exercise.
After we finished installing the bulletin board, the ladder was finally dry, and so I brought that inside so I could install it. It's not going anywhere. While I still had my tools inside, I went ahead and attached these little wall baskets that I picked up at Hobby Lobby to the wall above the desktop.
Ooh, looky. Nice.
Party.
That's awesome.
Next, it was finally time to start adding the hardware to the rolling library ladder. First, I marked where the screws for the wheels would go so that I could drill a pilot hole. Alright, I'm going to wait before I attach those top hooks. I'm going to go ahead and bring the rugs in because I know they come pretty close over there, and I want to make sure that if I need to put the ladder on the rugs that it's going to roll okay. So I'm going to bring the rugs in before actually making any permanent holes in the top of the ladder. Before bringing the rugs in, I laid down these rug pads that I ordered on Amazon that would keep the rugs from sliding around. Since this space is such an awkward size, I ended up using 2 5x7 rugs end to end to give the appearance of one long wide runner that fit the space perfectly. I decided that the ladder rolled a little bit too freely on the hard floors, and so I attached the hardware higher up so that it would roll on the rug instead. Nice, nice.
Wait a minute. Did you make this for the kids? Or
Here,
did you
I need
just
a
make
game.
this for
Look, I got
yourself?
it. I got the game. I needed to climb on the ladder. With the ladder fully installed, it was finally time to bring in the rest of the finishing touches. This is the same fabric we had in here, so I undid all the safety pins and washed it, so it's nice and clean. I think it looks fine. But my sewing machine's broken. I'll say that's my excuse. I'll eventually add some artwork, maybe originals by our own kids, to the walls, but for now we were ready to reveal this space to our kids. Come and see your new playroom!
I'm getting on the ladder! No! Ah! Connected?
Well, unbelievable job on this playroom. When I think about the 1001 details that you put into this, it looks incredible. And I think it's such a great example of how you can take a vision for your own space. And if you're willing to put in the hard work, you can make it whatever you want to make it. And that's kind of the story of this channel. So nice job, girly.
Yeah, this definitely took a lot longer than I thought. We're 4 weeks into this project, but it is so good to get to the finish line, see it all finished. It looks so good. The space feels so different, but I love all of the details. The rugs and even the way they fit in there, and then the new pillows on the bench, and all of our kids love it. And so I'm happy we're done, and I'm inspired and ready to move on to the next projects.
So that's all for this playroom makeover, but we have a very exciting project coming up next week, and we will catch you in the next episode. And action.
Whoa! Married a very weird person.
Is that one for me? I've called you into my office today because I wanted to talk to you about
Your hair? Look at his hair.
Do you ever have those times when you take a shower and then go to bed and wake up? Your hair looks like this?
Time for a nap first.
Nap? I just feel like a lot of things have gotten in between us lately.
Some really big things.
Yeah. What are you coloring, big man? Whoa, that's cool. You colored that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bro, could you chill? We are filming a YouTube video over here. My goodness. Jobby dop, bobby dop, mommy dop, job and bee bop and bee bop and joo bop bee doo. Yo! If it rains, I'm gonna run outside in my willy-nillys. That's not what I meant to say.
What are willy-nilly?
I don't know. I just meant I'm gonna go run
Are
out.
you filming?
Filming.
Don't put that. Free Willy! Did you fart over here? It stinks.
Whoopsie. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
I think I was a little bit overdue.
Whoa, hey. Good thing we're changing that air filter.
Can I get over it? I can't see.
Use your mirror, sorry.
Well, I can't.
I know, I was holding it in front of the mirror. Doctor, what are we doing today? Get it when it comes off. Careful, babe. What's going on?
Watch out.
Girly?
I love this room.